Okay, so we saw how to create reusable blocks and how what is library, what are the business parameters inside, and how to create a test case using reusable blocks. Any questions, any doubts till the topics that we discussed today? No? Perfect. So let's go ahead. Okay. So now I want to make changes to my demo workshop folder. So what should I do here? Secretary, right? Similarly, I want to work on my test cases folder. So what should I do? Checkout tree. Don't forget that. Okay. Before you want to make changes, you have to click on either checkout or checkout tree. And once you are done with your changes, you have to click on check in all. Okay. So now let's go ahead and discuss about some other properties in demo workshop today. Okay. So let me open demo workshop. Okay. And let me see, I have another demo workshop also open. And I have another demo workshop also open. So how many demo workshops do I have? 3 are in open state. Right. And now I will say drag this top menu module, drop it on a dummy test case. Okay. And here I'll say go and click on register. So which one will it go and click? I'm in the 3 that I have here. There are 3 tabs open in Chrome. Each one has the same name, demo webshop. So which one is it going to click? Anybody? Okay, let me try.
Yeah.
Yes.
It opens a new browser, new tab, and it's click on that. It won't operate on the existing one.
I did not ask it to open any. Let's see. See, can you see the flickering at the top? Yeah, it flickered. Right. See? And now let's see what is the error. More than one matching tab was found. So now it is asking us like what do you want? Like there are more than one control found. So which one should I click on? Do you remember when we are identifying, like when we are scanning modules and all, right? If we are unable to identify a particular element or an object using its properties, okay, like still it says it is not unique. What does it mean by not unique? There are more than one control with the same properties. Am I correct? So then we went and identified it by using anchor method. If we are unable to identify it by anchor, what is the method that we followed? Identify by index. Hello? See, I want all of you to be strong at the basics. If you are not strong at your basics, then from now onwards you cannot understand any class. It will be a good to listen story for you. That's all.
Index base.
Okay. So now if we are identifying my index, what is the default property that we are going to get? Like when I say identify by anchor, what is the property that will show up in the modules?
Relative ID,
In the same way, when we say identify by index,
index value,
index value, but what is the property name?
constraint index,
Yes. So, what do you mean by identify by index on a whole picture? Like when there are more than one control which is having the same set of properties, then we used a property called constraint index, and there we set go to this index position of the element, go to the third one or go to the sixth one, something like that, right? Now here also we have three menus open, like three demo web shops. Now, can I say using constraint index property, like go to the second one and click on register? Can I do that? Yes, right. So let's do that and see. So now here we are applying this particular property at the module level. Okay. So for the top menu module, I'll click and open this properties menu, and now if I right click over here, I can see different types of parameters. This is an important interview question. What are the different types of parameters that you can apply at the module level? Configuration parameters, okay, transition parameters, steering parameters, and business ID parameters, technical parameters, and reflective ID parameters. I'm repeating again: configuration, transition, steering, reflective ID, technical, and business ID. What are different types of configuration parameters and all is what we are going to discuss. Now, the one which we saw, constraint index, is one of the configuration parameter. Okay, so I'll just write it as constraint index. And what is the position that I want to go? Second, right? So now I will say second. And now I will run the same test case again. See, this time it will go to the second tab and it should click on it. Let's see if it happens or not. No, it went to the third one and it clicked. Might be some spelling mistake. Let me see. One minute. Sorry. Sit here. These are called as module level properties in Tosca. Module properties in Tosca, if you enter in Google, you will get this manual sort of a thing. And here you can see all the properties. Okay, one second. Properties for X module. See, coming to configuration parameters, these are the properties. Avoid snapper, algorithmic association, business association, constraint index. Okay. copy this spelling from here and then come back here and just paste it. And now run this and see. See now it went to the second tab and clicked on register. Did you understand? Yes, no. If you write any small spelling mistake here also, it will not work. Okay, so it is always better to copy these names from the Tosca manual itself. And here you can see, right, the remaining also, like can execute in parallel, engine, explicit name, extension, external engine, all these different examples of the configuration parameter. Among all these which we have here, the ones which are important are constraint index and explicit name. Okay, we will be discussing about both of them. Similarly, coming to the business ID parameters, we will not be using any business ID parameter, but usually, as we know, like if there is any label, it will have a business ID parameter, okay, and the name as label, or if it is some text box, it will have some property as text. So those will fall under the business ID parameters. Similarly, reflected ID parameters, you might have seen them, right? When we say load more properties, you will get the reflected ID parameters such as child element count, child nodes, something like this. Visible, all these fall under reflected ID parameters. And technical ID parameters are the normal ones. Inner text, href, inner HTML, outer HTML, name, title, tag, all these fall under technical parameters. And similarly, steering parameters. Steering parameters are mainly used to control the steering of a control. Okay, we will discuss about this in the later classes. But for now, if we want to talk about these, like when we identify by image, what is the default property that we will get? Scrolling behavior, right? So scrolling behavior is also one of the steering parameter. It will tell you how to scroll, right? Like if you say scrolling behavior to top for any of the elements, usually before it performs any action, it will scroll to the top and then it will perform the action. Okay. So scrolling behavior, wait before, wait after, are some of the examples of the steering parameters. Here you can see. Okay. And finally, transition parameters, you have XPath alone. So these are the different kinds of X module properties that we can add. And also please do remember two examples for each, because nowadays this is an important interview question. People are asking a lot, like companies in next technologies and also testing experts. Okay, so now we saw constraint index, right? So right now we apply this constraint index property at a module level. In the same way, you can apply this constraint index property at the attribute level also. Any questions, any doubts still here? No? Okay, perfect. We are good then. So now let's start understanding what are different loops in Tosca. Okay. There are basically three types of loops in Tosca. One is if then else loop, second one is do while loop, third one is while loop. Okay, so let's see one by one. First one is if then else loop. So if you right click on a test case, here you can see the loops icon in the context menu. Okay, like in here, see, create if statement, create do statement, and if I click on these three dots, see here, create while statement. First, let's see the if statement. So click on this create if statement. See, this is how the loops look like. If statement, inside it, it has a condition and it has a then. Okay. So now I will say like, I'll take a buffer first of all. So I want to add a test step to this test case. So how do I do that? What is the shortcut for that? Either go and click on this one, search and add test step, or else click on control plus T icon. Okay. And now just to say buffer. So T box set buffer. So drag it and drop it to the first test step position. First, I am setting a buffer of num, okay, and I will set its value to some 7, okay. And now, in my condition, I want to verify if my particular buffer value is 7, then only get inside the if loop, or else don't come inside. Okay, so how do I evaluate whether my num buffer is having 7 value in it or not? I need a test step or some module for that, right? So the module which will help us to evaluate two expressions is called as expression evaluation tool. Okay, so click on this add test step near the condition. Now I clicked on condition and I want to add some condition. So click on this add test step and here just type evaluation. That's all. See here you got T-box evaluation tool. Double click on it and this is the expression verification module. So all that you have to say is value of num buffer, right? So how do we access color braces, curly braces, capital B, square braces, NUM, close both the braces. This is nothing but the value of num buffer, and then it should be equals to 7, right? So double equals to 7. That's all. Verify whether the value of num buffer is equal double equals to 7. If it results true, then this particular block will be executed. Then what we will do is we will say like we will create another buffer like test and value is pass. If this fails, what is then you have to do? So in order to add the else statement, right click on your if and here you can see, right, create else statement. So click on this. It will create an else statement for you. If it is not run, then set the buffer of test to else. Okay. Now I will run this as a whole. Right click and run on the test case level. See, now expand everything. Initially, it has created a buffer with name num and set its value to 7. Then it went to the if loop and then it verified the condition. 7 double equals to 7. Is it true? Yes. So that is the reason it has a small tick mark near the condition. See? And then it executed the then block. So our test has become pass. Any questions, any doubts till this point? Okay, now let's execute the else part. So in order to execute the else, what is that you have to do? You should not meet the condition, right? So I am setting the number for with 6. So it will not pass the condition. Now again I am running the whole test case. Right click, expand on, and see here the condition has been evaluated to false. That is the reason, see, there is a cross mark near my condition. And that is the reason it has executed else block. What if I don't have else statement? Will it affect my test case? Anybody? Any guess?
Yes.
No. It will just fail, that's all. Like it will say the condition is not met. Now I removed my else statement. I just right clicked and deleted it. Okay. I have just if and then. Now I will execute this. And see here, the condition is not met. That's all. Nothing else. Nothing happened. If condition is met, then it would execute the then. If not met, that's all. Skip to the next step. Else is totally optional. Okay. If you want to add some else, you can add it, or else you can just leave with the if and then. Okay. And another important thing is in else again you can create an if statement. I will show you how. So now how do we add else part? Right click on the if part, and here you can see an icon that is for else. So click on the else statement. So again if you right click on your else, see there is a possibility to add if statement. See, within else you can have another if statement, and again in this if statement you can create another else, and again in this else you can right click and you can create on the if statement. Okay, and not only for the else, within the then also you can create another if statement. So this chain goes on. Let's see the control flow diagram how this looks like. See, initially we are setting a buffer, and then we have a condition. If this condition is met, then we will directly go to then and execute it and come back over. That's done. If it is not executed, then it will go to else, and then it will go to if, and there it will verify for a condition. If this yes, if the condition is met, then again it will go to another if, and if the condition is not met, then also it will go to another if, something like this. Some messy up scenario I have just showed you the control flow diagram of. Any questions, any doubts till this point? Excuse me. Okay, so all of you, did you understand the if condition or if loop? Okay, perfect. Um, so now let's move on. let's move on to the next one, that is while loop. Okay, so I'll write this as while, and we are working on it. So let the work state be in work. So for the while loop, the same way. First, let us create some buffer. Okay, and let us say that this num value to be some 0. Okay, and now how do we create the while loop? On which scenario we can use if statement? Good question, Krishnaveni. Actually, this if statements and all, right? For suppose, if something like if a button is visible, only then click on it. If it is not visible, then don't click on it. Such scenarios, like every time we will use this if then else loop. Okay. For suppose, if I say like whenever I am just as part of my precondition, I can write like sometimes what will happen, sometimes we will log in, we will log in into demo web shop and we will forget to log out. Okay, so for suppose now I already logged in as a new user, some user, right? I closed my entire browser and now I opened my demo web shop again. Okay, sorry, it has logged out. 1 second. Okay, so now I'm opening demo web shop in the another tab and now I want to work on this new one. So see, already it is logged in, right? So now if I say click on register button, will it work? No, right? Because there is no register button over here. So then how do I know? Like I can keep a precondition. Like if before logging in only, before clicking on register only, verify if logout is visible. If in case logout is visible, then please click on it. This is a valid if statement. Am I correct?
Yes.
So if it is appearing, only then it will click. Or else, no worries. It will just skip it and click on the register button directly. So that is one use. Okay. So now let's move on. The next one is the while statement. Okay. So for this, I am setting the buffer to 0. Okay. And what is the difference between while and do while is, actually we have two types of loops, while and do while in Tosca. So for the while, first we have to mention what is the condition. Okay. And then we have to do the loop part. So what will happen until your condition is met? Okay, it will go into the loop. Once if your condition is not satisfied, then it will come out of the whole thing. Okay, for this is for the while. Until your condition is met, it will go and execute the loop. Like every time it will come out, check for the condition. Okay, my condition is met. Now I will execute loop. Once loop part is executed, then again it will come back and then again it will see for the condition whether it is met or not. If it is met, only then it will get inside the loop. Okay, again it will come back once after executing entire loop thing. So this loop goes on. Okay, once condition is not satisfied, then obviously it will come out of the loop. It will not execute the loop. And now the other one, that is do while. What is the difference here is, here first you will have the loop part. Okay, that means what should be keep on triggered. Okay, the loop statement. And then you will have the condition. Okay, so if what will happen, though your condition is met or not met, first time, the very first time, it will get into the loop first. It will execute it for one time and then come to this condition thing. and it will verify whether your condition is met or not. If it is met, okay, then it will go again and then execute the loop and then come back again, verify the condition and all. If it is not met, then it will come outside. So this is how the do while works. The everything is same. The only difference is in while at the initial, like the first step itself, we will verify the condition. Whereas in the do while, for a minimum of one time, what if your condition doesn't met? Do while executes at least once? Think like my condition is not satisfied in this loop. So what will happen? Will the loop part execute once? I'm asking the question once again. For suppose my condition is not met. So how many times will the loop part execute? In while loop, will it execute for one time?
No. Only do while loop is executed one time if its condition is not matched.
Yes. Can others understand what I am saying actually?
Yes, Ramya.
But I can't understand. Like I cannot understand. If you reply me something, then I can analyze. Like okay, these people are stuck here, or else they are going good, and all. If you remain silent and if you mute yourself, everybody, I can't understand. Right? I'm not teaching anybody here for free of cost. You are all paying me. And at the same time, when I teach you, I should also get some response for you to analyze whether you are able to understand it or not. And I'm not here sitting like a free speaker and speaking everything, right? So please do respond. Like I don't want you to answer difficult interview questions and all. I just want you to answer yes or no. And if you don't understand, say it openly. Ramya, please repeat. If you are not following these things, right, like we will just go, like I will complete the course anyways. There is nothing problem with me, so I will complete it. And once when you try to listen or anything, and if you encounter questions, then you may not understand things. So better listen to it. If you are not interested or if you don't understand something, do let me know. Thank you. So as Nilesh answered, here for the while loop, if the condition is not met, loop will not be executed. Here, even though your condition is met or not met, the loop will be executed to a minimum of one time. So now I will show you how to create them. First, I took a buffer that is num, that's value is 0. And now I will right click on my test case, and inside these three dots there is a create while statement. So I will click on this. So this is my while, and if I expand I can see condition first and loop next. So what is my condition? I want to verify if the value is equals to is less than 6 or not. So I'm copying this expression evaluation step and I pasted it here. And here, what I do is instead of saying double equals to 7, it's less than 7. So until unless it is less than 7, this particular condition is passed. And what is that I have to loop? So I will say like I want to add 1 to my existing num buffer value. So I'll set the buffer as num, and here I want to perform an addition. Addition is a mathematical operation. So in order to write any function, mathematical operations and all, there is a function within the Tosca. So in order to access the function, the first thing we do is open curly braces and here list out the all functions. Now this is a mathematical. So type as MATH. So MATH or you can see the syntax there, right? So math is used to perform the calculations over operators and mathematical functions. Okay, and the syntax is math, square braces, operand 1, what is the operator, and again operand 2, and all it goes on. Okay, so say it as math of, and what is my operand 1? The first one is the buffer value, right? So say curly braces capital B of num, whatever value is present in the num buffer, add, so place 1 to it, 1. Close both the square and curly braces of math function and come back. So this is how it looks like. So now initially it is 0. So it is less than 7, right? So it will go and increase its value to 1. The same way it goes on. And once it becomes 7, then it is no more less than 7. So the condition fails and it comes out of the loop. Let's run this and see as a whole state. Just case, okay? Now right click, expand all. See, in the first evaluation, first repetition, 0 is less than 7. So num has become 1. 1 is less than 7. So it has become 2. So it goes on. Finally,
ఇటువంటి ఒక్కసారేనా
అలాంటి కండిషన్ మ్యాటర్ రిపీట్ జరుగుతూ ఉంటుంది.
ఆవిడ గ్రేటర్ దాన్ 7 అనేది
so now it has become 7 is less than 7, which is nothing but a false, right? This is 7 is never greater than 7. 7 is always equals to 7. So that is the reason the condition is not met and it came outside the loop. Any questions, any doubts on the while loop part? Okay, great. The next one is the same way. Do while loop, right? So I'll create another dummy test case and I will name it as do while. And here also the same way. I'm taking the buffer 0, okay, and then I will right click on my test case and create do while loop. If you see the do while loop, see here it is having loop first, condition next, but while when condition first, loop second. So what is present in the loop? Math of, like we are adding 1 to it, right? So let's copy the same thing here. And what do we have in the condition? It should be less than 7. So copy the same condition here. Now, the same way, first I will set my buffer to 0 and then I'm looping it, okay? And then I will verify if it is less than 7 or not. So right click and execute this one. It's done. See here, same way. Initially it is 0, so then it has become 1, and after becoming 1, it verified the condition. So 1 is less than 7, it is true. So it goes on. Once it becomes 7, then it will come out. Any questions, any doubts with the do while loop? Perfect. So now let's see what if our condition is not met at the beginning. So here at the beginning itself I am setting my num value to 8 and I am going to run my while statement. The condition is not met at the beginning itself. So it should not execute the loop part at least once. Am I correct? So let's see. Num has been set to 8 and in the repetition one only the condition is not met. So nothing has executed. Let us see from the do while perspective. The same way I'm just updating this number for to 8 and now let us execute the whole do while loop. See, it has been set to 8 and then in the repetition one, see, first it will simply execute the loop here. So it has become 9. After becoming 9, then it went ahead and verified the condition. Any questions? Any doubts? Okay, perfect. So this is all about the loops and all. In Tosca, we don't have for loop, for each loop and all. All we have is if then else loop, while loop and do while loop. So please do practice them. And coming to the while and do while, where do we actually use them? We will see in tomorrow's class. We will start using these loops and create some reusable test step blocks for our necessity in tomorrow's class. And tomorrow's class is very important. We will learn how to scan the things generically. Okay. So now before closing this class, I want to discuss about another thing that is repeatable folders. Until now, we saw different loops such as like if condition is met, only then this loop part will be triggered. If condition is not met, then loop part will not be executed at all. Without using any conditions, also we can repeat something. Those are known as repeatable folders. So let's create a dummy test case for this. Okay, and inside this test case, I'm creating a folder. Okay, and inside this folder, for suppose, let's say add the value 1 to the existing number for the same way whatever we have done. But here we don't have any condition. So initially I will take a buffer num and I am giving value to it 0. And then inside a loop folder I am adding 1 to the existing buffer. So for this folder, if you click on this folder, whatever I have created and expand these properties, see there is a property called repetition. And if I give some value to it, for suppose give value as 5. See the icon of the folder has been changed. That means this but the whatever test steps are present inside the folder, they have to be executed for 5 times is what it meant. So now let's execute it and see. See, initially it has set the value of this buffer to 0 and then it went into the new folder and see there are total 5 repetitions in it. Every time it added one value to the buffer. So by the time it came to the 5th repetition, the num value has been set to number 5. Okay. So second repetition, again it added. Third repetition, it added. Fourth repetition, it added. So it went, and for 5 times it executed. Okay. And now one more important thing here is, for suppose until now we tried to add the number 1 to the value. What if I want to add 1 in the first cycle, 2 in the second cycle, 3 in the third cycle, 4 in the fourth cycle, and 5 in the fifth cycle? How do I do that? For that, it is nothing but the repetition number only, right? All that you have to do is curly braces and say repetition. It will give you the exact repetition number value. Okay, close the curly braces. So now if you execute this particular test case again, initially it will be set to 0, and then for the first cycle, see, it is added with 1. So this particular value has become 1, 0 plus 1, right? Next cycle, 1 plus 2, second, right? So it has become 3. 3 plus 3, so it will become 6. 6 plus 4, 4, so 10. And then 10 plus 5, 15. So this is how we can access the repetition value over there. Any questions? Any doubts still here?
రమ్య
Yes.
మీరు వైల్ లూప్ చెప్పారు, తెలుగు ఇస్ ఫైన్.
Yeah.
వైల్ లూప్ చెప్పేటప్పుడు, డూ వైల్ చెప్పేటప్పుడు మీరు ఇంక్రిమెంట్ అనేది ఇవ్వలేదు, అంటే రిపిటీషన్ అనేది అక్కడ వాల్యూ యాడ్ చేయలేదు. సో అక్కడ వాల్యూ ఇవ్వచ్చు కదా రిపిటీషన్ అనేది వైల్ లూప్లో.
Let's see. Yes. Repetition. The same thing.
Not this. I'm talking about this property in tab, right corner.
Oh, no. Actually, this repetition property will be available only for the folders.
Okay.
Okay. See, now, if you click on any of the test steps, no, you can't see that. But if you click on any folder, not only this one, see even this folder. Okay, like it should be present inside the test case. Any folder. Okay, pre-condition folder, see, workflow folder, validation, post condition. Only thing is, it should be present under a test case. That's all. Then all folders will have this repetition.
Okay, and in the last you added repetition, that syntax on the flower brace, right?
Yes.
That, can you explain me that once again, how it is getting adding up of 1 plus 2, all these things?
What do they mean by repetition? The repetition number, that's all. Like if you are running in the first repetition, it will take the value as 1 here. Curly braces repetition is nothing but a 1.
Okay.
Okay, let me show you in this way. I don't want to make it too complex. And let's see, like instead of doing all this, let us take only repetition. Okay. Initially, so here we will not run anything. We are directly taking a folder, and for the number for every time we are giving the repetition value, and we are repeating it for 5 times. So let's run this folder and see. See, total 5 repetitions, and every time, see, it has set to 1 because the repetition is 1 here. Similarly, if you see the third one, see, it has set to 3 because the repetition value is 3 here. Similarly, if the fifth one, 5, because what is the number, which number of repetition are you in? Fifth repetition cycle. So 5th. Did you understand?
Yeah.
usually we have a concept called for loop in your other programming languages and all, right? Like you will say for I equals to 0, I less than 10, so blah blah blah. And for every time, in order to know which cycle you are going on, you will access the I value, right? Because you will usually increase the I value by 1. So in the same way here also, here we don't have all those for loops and all, right? So we have a folder here on which we keep on repeating. And this is the repeatable folders they call. Like if you have any sequence of test steps which have to be executed for 2 to 3 times, like the same way, click on this button, and then this button, something like that. Okay, and the same step has to be executed for 5 times. So then we will create this repetition folder. For suppose if you take a change password scenario, most of the websites and all will have this, right? Like whatever password you have used for the last 5 times should not be part of the new password. So in those scenarios and all, you can use the repetition folder, like so that it will execute the same thing for 5 times. Anyways, we will see the use of these things in the later classes again. Any questions? Any doubts? Okay. So with this, I will stop today's session. Tomorrow we have some important topics. So please do practice your normal scanning and all well, so that you tomorrow will not face any issue. Okay. Thank you everyone. Thanks for joining. Thanks for your time. Bye bye.